Hi everyone, I'm in Cologne today and I'm meeting Alex, the co-founder of Socialbnb, and I'm happy for you to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm the co-founder of Socialbnb, an impact startup that is focusing on sustainable tourism. We're working together to create a better tourism industry.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of your project and when and how did it start?
So Socialbnb actually started as a student project back in our studies. We were traveling in Cambodia and there we met a local man, Sang Chanti, who was a local tuk-tuk driver. And he wanted to build a school in his local village to provide free English lessons for the kids in his village. But there was no money for it. So he lacked donation and there was not much opportunities also in his village, economic opportunities. That's why many people moved away. And they had a lot of empty houses in his village. And we got in touch with him, we visited his village and said like, okay, this is such a cool travel experience because it's really local. We got involved in like the day-to-day activities of this village and really learned the local way of life, the rural way of life in Cambodia. After we came back, we thought like, okay, we want to find a solution on how we can create this money for the school project. It's such a nice travel experience for us. Why can we not host travelers in these empty rooms that were overall in this village, and through this generate income that the village then can use to actually fund the local school. And that was kind of the pilot project that we did back just as a voluntary project back in our studies. And this worked actually quite well. So after 3 months, we had enough people that wanted to stay with Thang. They visited the village. They paid like, I think, $30 back in the days. And after 3 months, we had enough money that he could hire a local teacher and the kids could have free English classes. This was the start of Socialbnb, where we then thought, okay, we want to create a global platform where travelers actually can find alternative stays for their trips that actually contribute to local social ecological costs, and this one gives something back for the destination.
Leading back to the last part of your answer, which exact problem are you trying to tackle with your project?
I mean, the main problem that we see is also what we could see in this village. Like, it was just a few kilometers outside of Phnom Penh, which is the capital city of Cambodia, and there's a lot of international tourism going through, like international arrivals. But nothing of this money came a few kilometers into this village. So there's really like a disconnect from local people to the tourism industry. When we travel somewhere, it's often like bigger companies, hotels or accommodations are in hand from international companies or international investors. So a lot of the money that we actually spent on our trip doesn't really stay in the local economy and supports local people, but gets pulled out again of the country. And this is a big issue. There was a research back in years from the UNWTO, the World Tourism Organization from the United Nations. From $100 that we spend in a developing country, only $5 actually stay in the local economy. This rate is really like causing a lot of issues. So that's why we want to build a platform that make it easy for travelers to find offers that actually contribute to local people and thus create a tourism industry in a force to good.
Incredible. That already connects to my next questions. How do you pick the projects and how do you ensure that the money and the contribution in the end actually arrives where it's supposed to arrive?
Yeah, I mean, that's a super important topic. So for us, we have different criteria that we have to see what impact means for us and what a project should fulfill. So we talk to each of the projects that we list on our platform individually on a personal level. We do like interview calls and then we go through the different criteria. So we check how's the organization set up, what is their actually goal. So are they using tourism as a tool for something, or is tourism here the main goal, to kind of find out what is behind this project, or how transparent they are with their finances, and what's the story behind the project. And then we have ongoing checks. Every year we do an impact measurement. So we do impact reportings where we check in with every project and say, okay, you earned so much money through the Socialbnb platform. What has happened with it? What did you do? How to make sure that the impact actually really has a local impact. And then, of course, the travelers, like the community, they're kind of part of the system too. You know, they go somewhere, they give us feedback if they feel, okay, this is a transparent project or not. We have like a review system. So all these measurements together actually make sure that we create the best impact as possible, of course.
I've been on your website. I think there's two different ways to use your portfolio, let's say. On the one hand, I think I can go and say, I just want to do a beach holiday. I want to be left alone, but I want my money that I spend on holiday still to contribute to the communities. However, I can also be actively part of a project, if I understood correctly. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, so we have kind of two different categories on the Socialbnb platform. We started with the accommodations that we call impact stays. So this is kind of a normal Airbnb stay, hotel booking, like you can book a hotel, hostel, like a whole apartment, like a holiday house for yourself. But the ownership of this accommodation is a social ecological initiative or project. So that means when you stay there, the money you pay helps to fund a certain project, but you can have your normal holiday, do whatever you want, but still make sure that your money stays there and creates a good impact. And the second option are our impact experiences that go a bit further, where you're actually experiencing the project yourself. You become kind of part of it. For example, marine protection projects in the Mediterranean. In Italy, you're part of a research team that goes out to observe cetaceans like dolphins and whales, and they're collecting data to create new marine protected areas. So travelers are welcome to join this science project, stay with them for a week, learn a bit, assist in some tasks, and also their price for the trip, for the accommodation and everything actually funds this science project in the long run.
Do you, besides your first pilot project during your studies, have one or multiple projects, communities where you actually say, yes, we already moved something, we can see change, or we really contributed to the well-being of the specific community?
Yes, I mean, for example, the project I was just telling you about, last year we were able to generate more than 20,000 euros for it through the platform. So with this money, they could actually collect enough data and did enough operations that they could manage to implement a new marine protected area in Italy, especially for sperm whales that come there from time to time, but are getting really rare in the Mediterranean Sea. So this is a big impact that how they kind of use tourism to actually create marine protected areas. But we also have different impact on local community level. For example, in Tanzania, we are also working with a private marine reserve, but they also do a lot in the field of environmental education. So through the money the travelers spent there, they could offer free education trips for local schools that came on the island, and where they educate them in the importance of coral reef systems, the marine systems in general, to also raise awareness for the local population why it's worth to protect these environments.
I'm really in love with this project. Do you have one last message that you consider important to travelers out there, what to keep in mind when visiting the world and going to different places and communities?
I think the most important part is when we travel is that we actually ask questions and ask who's in charge of this project and who owns accommodation or the tour that we are booking with, to make sure that it's in a local hand and that there's not a big structure behind it where most of the money actually goes to. And if this is too much work for you, you can check it out at Socialbnb, because we already do the homework for you.
Now, coming up, one last question. How many projects and destinations do you offer so far?
We work with more than 500 projects in 45 countries worldwide. They differ in price class, in comfort in a way. So we really offer from beach vacation to a farm stay, to a normal hostel or hotel stay, to projects where you really get involved, like dolphin research. We also have shark expeditions where you go with scientists out, or small surf camps where you can surf and chill and do yoga classes, but then also contributing with your stay to the local people.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alex. And
You're welcome.
Good luck to your journey. And yes, happy to share this incredible project.